Veterans Day it is, I guess. Just gonna hang out. People got questions. People want to talk about stuff. Go ahead. That's what we're doing today. Nothing special. Nothing special today. Just questions, chatting it up, seeing what people want to talk about. Uh, any issues people going through. Any veteran stuff mostly. Want to stick today mostly to the veteran stuff. But if we got other questions and other comments and stuff like that, don't hesitate to ask. It won't change. It won't change the issue. We still gonna answer questions. We still gonna ask questions. Um, but it's Veterans Day. Veterans Day. So to some people, it's another day. To some people, it's. I want to like flip it up and do it this way and just put the fucking. Let me see. Should I do it this way and just flip it up this way? But this is just because the thing is I'm doing this live. I'm doing it differently. I am doing it off of my veteran page. I am not doing this off of the usual cruise talks page. So this is like a joint one because it is Veterans Day, so we can talk on veteran issues or we could just talk on any issues of the sort. If people got questions, people got stuff, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. Appreciate all the time, sacrifice, and service that all service members did, no matter what branch you are. So I appreciate you for that. Appreciate that, Dean. And I appreciate everybody that did that. I just came from a Veterans Day parade. So I just wanted to do that. My daughter was in it, so had to go support. They had a couple of things there. Yeah, it was a couple of things. Just people, Veterans Day, the old, the BFW, the DAV, the American Legion. Appreciate that, Bobby. Appreciate you if you served also. If you a service member, shit, if you active duty now, I appreciate you too, because that one day you are gonna be a veteran also. And I appreciate all y'all that did serve. So appreciate all of y'all for that. As always, it's a great day. It's a good thing. It's never a bad thing to serve this country. You just gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know that when you are serving this country, it comes with the good and the bad, but it's a lot. There's a lot of good that comes from it. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to that part, because that's a big part right there. A lot of people don't pay attention to it, and a lot of people don't understand it. But I don't know. Whatever y'all got questions on, I don't. Whatever it is, might jump on, might actually go start doing some gaming or something. We don't know. It's just a hangout, but no. But I have several from serve, and I still serve. Appreciate them also, then, Bobby. 'Cause I understand how that goes. I appreciate when people do that. I know a lot of people come from military families that is just straight up military families, and it's just an ongoing thing. So, what up, Flip? Yeah, so it's just just what can you get baby formula? Last I heard, if you need baby formula, you can go into these crime-ridden neighborhoods and ask the people that are doing the crime, and they'll supply you more than the church will. That's all I'm saying. If you really need baby formula, that's what you could do. That is the go into these crime-ridden, like these cities that the National Guard being sent into. Go to those areas and tell them that you have people that are starving and stuff like that, and I bet you that community will help you faster than the church will. Good. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You asked the question, I gave an answer. That's how it is. That's how I am. I'm always giving people answers. I can always point you in the right direction to a good answer. That's it, really. Or the Satanic Temple also. I heard they're giving a lot of food out too. So, like I said, if you're running into these issues, there's places you go. There's places you go to. So we need more voices like me. Hey, Bobby, if you feel that way, just like the stream give me a heart me so that my team grows, and that's it. You don't gotta give any other gifts, just a heart me so that it pushes it out so it looks like I'm joining more people to join in the team and like the stream. That's it. I don't nothing else really. You don't need to do much else here. I'm this voice is still gonna be the same. I'm not gonna change the way I speak or the things I say. I'm not a grifter. I'm not here doing this for money. Things that need to be said and things need to be pointed out. What's up, Allure? Things need to be said, and sometimes people don't have the capability of doing it, and sometimes people don't want to do it because of fear of what might happen to them. So all I say is like the stream, making sure it pushes out to more people, and we'll keep doing that. And that's about it. As long as people show up and more people show up, that's the best I can do, because then I can voice out the message to a lot more people and give more people the opportunity to get it. So like I said, if you're, like I was saying earlier, and I made the video of it earlier, if you're a veteran and you're doing okay, you ain't struggling right now, and you're gonna go and do these Veterans Days, because there's a lot of places that have Veterans Day gifts. I had a list of it. I usually make a video yearly about it, but with this whole government shutdown and this whole all these things going on, I wasn't sure exactly what companies would be participating. So there's always company participating that are providing either it's a free entree or you get a free meal, or they give you, I know if you have a Freddy's Steakhouse, a Freddy's, they're giving out like a free combo meal. You can't use it that day, but you can use it on another day. There's Academy. If you have an Academy store, like the whole like it has weapons, all that stuff. What up, Joshua? If you have that, you can go. I believe you're getting a 10% discount on there. If you go on to, for a lot of veterans, what they don't know is ID Me. ID.me. If you type that into Google, it'll take you to a site. All you got to do is register. If you register for that, there's a ton of discounts there. If you are a person that purchases Oakley's, you like the Oakley sunglasses and stuff, you can sign in through ID Me, and I believe you get a 45 to a 50% discount. So if you like Oakley's and you like the shades and you want to get them, you can actually get them prescribed also. You could get a prescription for them. So if you get like the prescription ones and you want to customize them and stuff like that, you can go through ID Me, and I believe Oakley's will give you, for Veterans Day, I think they're doing it like a 40% or something like that, but for they usually give like a 30% or something like that off of Oakley's if you want to do that. There's a bunch of stuff that people don't know of. Happy Veterans Day, dude. And that's the thing, that's a lot of things that people just type in this in Google, type that in. If you type that in Google on your just a search, it should go into a thing, and all you got to do is like you got to verify. The same way you can use that, like if you sign it into like va.gov, you can use ID Me also, and through ID Me you'll be able to get stuff through it. So you'll get information that way also. But it's always discounts. Like, let me see. I'll go over some of the discounts they got right now. So let's see. Let me sign in first. Gotta sign in. Because it's basically like a verification. So many values at these restaurants this morning. You're gonna see, the thing is they shouldn't be. A lot of people are using the uniform and a lot of stuff because they want to get a free meal. I ain't mad at people for getting a free meal. That's all I gotta say. I ain't mad at the fact if people getting a free meal, let them get a fucking free meal. I don't give a fuck. If it's to get a free meal because they hungry, I don't care. Say you a veteran. Just like they not gonna give them the free meal regardless. So if you fucking hungry right now and you starving and you want to feed your family or you want to feed somebody in your family and you gotta say you a veteran to do so, go ahead and fucking do it. Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's why I do these workshops, man. Because these workshops, a lot of the times people don't understand that a lot of these things are just like gimmicks and things to steal money from you. That's really all it is. It's just basically scams to like, hey, like look, put it like this. How we were talking about bankruptcy, right? with a lot of veterans see these ads and stuff like that that pushes just like, hey, are you in like $300 worth of debt, or you go to these you're in so much debt. It was just like, we can help you. And most of the things that they do is they basically get you on a big ass fucking pay loan instead of you just filing for bankruptcy. You could have filed for bankruptcy and gotten the same outcome. But here you are still owing a company money that's supposedly going to help you out. And we're just like, nah, if you really want to help the vet out, get them out the debt. Don't just make them push it on. It was just like, if you see it on TikTok, is most of the time that is. And a lot of the times they do it in a manner is just like these claims companies, right? So if you're a claim company in any one of these places, a claim, any kind of claim, like, hey, if you go through us, we'll help you file disability claim and we'll get you 100% without fail. And we're gonna work till we do it. I was just like, you could get that 100% on your own without having to pay anybody, without having to pay back pay, without having to pay a front load or anything. You can get that also. You just need to learn the system. And by learning the system, I don't mean cheat the system. I mean learning the system where you know the regulations that they cover. It was just like, the craziest thing to me what happens with veterans is that veterans know regulations. Veterans served in the military and had to deal with regulations. You had to deal with regulations. If you were in the service, you dealt with regulations at some point. Whatever point it was, you dealt with a regulation. Either it was because you was getting a Article 15, or you were getting a counseling, or some staff sergeant or some sergeant stopped you because he wanted to correct you, and he told you, according to regulation, you can't do that. Everybody knows fucking regulation if they served in the military, but somehow it's like all that information leaves their head and they forget how to use regulations on the back part. They completely forget about using regulation. It was just like, you served in the military. Everybody knows AR 670-1. Everybody knows UCMJ. Everybody knows UCMJ. You know UCMJ either because you had UCMJ or somebody else had UCMJ. You're not gonna play with me and talk about, I don't know what UCMJ is. You full of shit. You ain't serving the military if you don't know what UCMJ is. Universal Code of Military Justice. Everybody know that shit. Whether it was because you found out the hard way or somebody else showed you what the hard way was. You know what UCMJ is. There's no going around it. You know what UCMJ is. So if you know what UCMJ is, that means you should be learning what the Code of Federal Regulation is to veterans, which is the same thing. But it's not punishment, it's how you get your disability claims. And that's the part that people don't understand. That's the part that people don't pay attention to. If you know UCMJ, you can learn the other stuff. Why is the video not receiving enough? I don't know why it does this. It's like, if you know UCMJ, you should know the Code of Federal Regulations. If you don't know the Code of Federal Regulations, that's why you get into this problem. Why is the connection rate poor on this one? It's better than anything. And that's the crazy thing about it. People want to act like they don't know what it is, and that's the thing. That's how you get your benefits. A lot of this stuff is there for people to use. A lot of this is there for y'all to learn and understand, but a lot of people don't use it. A lot of people don't pay attention to the stuff that it is that's there to take benefit of it. If you a veteran, you could take advantage of it. And see, look, since TikTok don't like me pushing out to veterans and stuff and giving them information, this stream isn't being pushed out to enough people. So if you are in here, please keep liking the live so that way it can push out to more people, so we can reach out to more veterans. Because it's like, hey, this is the way I put it. There's 19 million veterans out there right now. And not 19 million know about what's going on. Not 19 million know about these discounts. Not 19 million know about these benefits. Not 19 million know about this stuff. Like I just had a video, like the video I just published with the disability rates for 2026, the 2.8 increase. Mind you, those aren't the specific numbers because that's what a 2.8 increase off of last year's number. When the VA and COLA and Social Security, they do that increase, it's never specified to the specific. So it could be that they say we're getting a 2.8 raise, but it could actually be like a 2.75 something, and they just rounded it up to 2.8. So that's why it's important that once the actual numbers is coming out, then I'll redo the video so that people understand what's going on, and then people will know the specifics. But the numbers I have up right now may be off by like a couple of cents. It's not like you're gonna be missing like a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, happy Veterans Day, Black. But that's the thing. It's just like there's a bunch of stuff that people don't understand. And it's a lot of information that people don't hold. Like I was saying with the video I made, that is just the disability rates. Somebody watched my video and they weren't aware of the fact that you get a higher, because when you have dependents, you get an additional amount per month. So if you have dependents on your thing, you get an additional amount till they turn 18. Once they turn 18, you no longer receive that benefit. The only way you continue to receive that benefit is if that 18-year-old is now enrolled in a university or accredited school. Then if they are enrolled in an accredited school, you receive another benefit, but this time it's higher than what the original was. So you'll get almost like twice the benefit because of the fact that you are now having an 18-year-old that's enrolled in school. Now, if that 18-year-old is not enrolled in school, you will not be receiving that benefit. But at the same time, the veteran has to communicate that information to the VA. So you have to contact the VA and let them know like, hey, I have a 18-year-old that's enrolled in the university. Then once they verify that, they'll probably ask you for the documentation showing that they're enrolled and stuff. But if you're using it through Chapter 35, which is if you're 100% permanent in total, you're going to get, your dependent gets that monthly stipend, but then you also get an increase in your benefit for the time being that dependent is in the university. So that's something that a lot of veterans don't know about. A lot of veterans just think that, hey, once their dependent turns 18, they're done and they don't have anything else and they don't pay to anything else and that's it. No, if your dependent is 18 or turns 18, the regular additional amount would be removed. But if they are enrolled into a school, an accredited school, and it's verified by the VA, then you will start receiving the pay for them being at that school, which usually the additional amount goes up to like usually I think at 100% is like about $100 something you get for the dependent. But once they're in school, it jumps up to like 300 something, which is a big plus if you're getting an extra $200 a month because your kid is at school. And then if you're at 100%, and you're using the Chapter 35 benefits, the dependents, education, and assistance, you now get that added on top. Is that to help cover for? No, that does not. That has nothing to do with the ACA. ACA doesn't do anything like that. What does help with the ACA now, especially a lot of veterans, the thing is what is helpful. What's up, JC? Yeah, because I'm multi-streaming on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube right now. So I've got like 3 different chats going, but not too crazy, but I still can see all of them. What helps with the ACA right now is Champ VA. So if you are 100% disabled veteran, you can get Champ VA. So you sign up for Champ VA and that will act as a secondary insurance to whatever insurance you have. So basically, if you have primary insurance, whatever it is, you now just have to let whatever doctor you go to, whoever you go to, let them know like, hey, I have a secondary insurance and that is Champ VA, which basically 9 times out of 10 will pay everything. What form do I need to fill out? JC, I need to figure that out. Let me see if I can figure that out. Let me see. I'm looking it up right now. So it's considered or additional. So it is form. Okay. So I got the form. The form is VA form 21674. Give me a second, see if I should have this on my website. Should be on the website. Let me get the link for that real quick and I'll put that into the chat. Resources, VA forms, VA form 21674. Yep, got it right here. Copy. Here's the Google link to my Google Drive. I'm putting this in here. So if you need the link basically to send it, because this is the link that you. I have, the thing is it's TikTok that you have to add like a separate program to add it to have all the chats combined. I have a program that has every chat combined except TikTok. So TikTok is the only one that doesn't like to play nice. TikTok has its own fucking program and it doesn't like playing nice with the program I have, because I have the other chat is like right now on my prompter I have my Twitch, YouTube chat on one thing and then I have TikTok on the other side. Yeah, they say they don't like that. They don't do nothing about it. Twitch doesn't really do anything. They say they don't like having the chats together and all that stuff, but JC, that's I believe they need to attend full time. Now that I have to look into more. That I would have to look into more. That I have to look into. Because the thing is I'm not sure if they have to must be enrolled. Let's see. Yes, so they do have to be enrolled full time. So they have to be full-time students to do that. So if you have an 18-year-old over the age of 18, because the regular one stops, if they're over 18, you have to fill out this form, basically sending it to the VA, letting them know like, hey, I have a student that's enrolled in college. They have to be a full-time student. If they are a full-time student, you then fill that out, you submit that form in. Once you submit that form in, now you have the information that basically it's you verifying that. Can I explain Champ VA again? Okay, so Champ VA is basically a secondary insurance. That's what Champ VA falls under. It's a secondary insurance that as a service member, if you are a veteran, you can use that for them. Because the thing is if you're 100% permanent and total or you're 100%, your disability is taking, if she's not full-time JC, then no. If you're the veteran and you have 100% permanent and total, you can just go to the VA for your servicing and you can go to the VA for your assistance or your medical stuff. What Champ VA does is it gives the ability for your family to have a secondary insurance. So what you have to do is you would have to go, let me see if I have the link for the Champ VA. Where the fuck did I put that? I have to get the link for you. But basically it counts as a secondary insurance. So basically, yeah, Josh was like, I'm zoomed out on a 4K. Yeah, I have to zoom in because of TikTok so that way it has the closer picture and y'all can see me better. But if y'all watch me on YouTube, I'm zoomed out and it looks a lot better that way. But with Champ VA, basically what happens is it's a secondary insurance. So let's say you have your primary insurance, whatever your primary insurance is. Like let's say you have a job, your wife has a job, or you're on let's say you're on a family or group plan for whoever is providing the health insurance in the family, right? If you are 100% permanent in total, you file for Champ VA. Usually the process takes about like 6 months. Once you do that for 6 months, you get the information. Then you receive like a card basically, and you get a pamphlet showing you what it is. Through Champ VA, you will get a booklet that will tell you what it covers and what it doesn't. This also works when you don't have any other insurance. So right now, for veterans that may be going through the issue of not having Medicaid being running out or the ACA subsidies running out, you can use Champ VA as a primary health insurance. It may not cover everything as a primary, but most chances are it's going to pay off a lot of what you owe through there. So if you do it through Champ VA, either it works for you as a primary insurance or it works for you as a secondary insurance. It's all dependent on how you use it. Basically, if you already have health insurance through your corporation or through the company you work through, you keep that as the primary. Now, whatever doctors you go to, you have to let them know, hey, I now have a secondary insurance. Now, when you have the primary and you add Champ VA as a secondary, chances are Champ VA covers damn near everything and you won't have to pay anything. So it's basically, I wouldn't say that your family members would end up like in, what's up, BK? Not that your family member ends up in like fucking, like you got free healthcare type shit, but it's damn near close to it. If you're already paying the money for a primary insurance, no, so there's no copays. Most of the time, Champ VA will cover that. But that's dependent on your primary. So if your primary takes it, so basically you're gonna go to the doctor. The primary is gonna charge you for, the insurance is gonna cover whatever it's gonna cover. What's up, Mir? And then Champ VA basically goes and it covers the second half. Appreciate that, Joshua. I was like, yeah, it looks better on widescreen. And the thing is, the reason I like doing it on YouTube is because on YouTube I can switch the stuff. So if like this right here, I can show you the main share screen. That's this. If I show you, this is my website and the form is here for you to download. So if you go to the Vet Awareness Project or Vetawarenessproject.com, you can go on there. You go on to resources. Let me show y'all. Is it showing it? Yeah. It's just too, because I have it. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I need to put it in a certain size so that it looks better. See, there you go. So now you should be able to see the full thing if you're on YouTube and watching. So on there, you go to my website, Vetawarenessproject.com, or you can still put Vetawarenessproject.com. Either one of those two links still works. You go on there, you click on resources. From resources, there's a bunch of stuff on there. There's VA forms, the DBQs. I'm working on the veteran organizations, just a whole list of them. State benefits, your congressional representation. So if you got to yell at some senator or some Republican or some Democrat, you can find who it is that works in the Senate and House of Representative committees if you want to yell at somebody. And then veteran affairs links, those are different ones. But you just go to VA forms. So you click on VA forms, then you scroll down. This page I am updating. So right now, the way you're looking at it and seeing it right now, it just looks like this. I'm changing it so that literally the VA forms will be in numerical order. So the numerical order would go down the list and you would be able to see every single listing of the VA forms that I have available for download. So you just scroll down, you go to VA form 21-674, and that's the request for approval of school attendance. Then you have the other one is the school attendance report that sometimes that one they ask for when it's like you're basically showing that you're there. Because now veterans and a lot of people, what they're doing is that they made it that you can do it through text message to certify that you were in school. So if you've enrolled in school, whether through the GI Bill or the Dependents Education Assistance, you'll be able to text message and they'll ask you, hey, were you enrolled from this time to this time? You say yes, and they take that answer and then they validate that you were in school so that way they can pay your benefit. So it's depending on how you want to do it that way. So if you do it this way, this is why I do it. That's why I like doing them both on TikTok and YouTube, because on YouTube, well, hold on, I gotta change the picture because that's the thing. This Just Cruise On is basically for the other page. The Vet Aware Project is, hold on, give me a second. is this one. So at the Vetawarenessproject, if you use that one, that's the one where you'll see all that information. And then you'll obtain it that way. So you'll get that information that way the same way. What's up, Des? How about them Knicks? I haven't even been watching basketball, bro, to be honest with you. I haven't been watching no kind of sports. Need to get back on it. But that's basically the breakdown. Oh shit, I put the wrong. No, this goes over here. That goes there, and this one goes here. Yeah. Appreciate that, BK. But that's basically what it is, and that's why I like doing these, because that's when I do my workshops. I do them on YouTube, because on YouTube you can go on and, like, if you're on TikTok right now, the link is right there. It's the Vetawarenessproject. This I gotta switch. Hold on. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. If you go to that on YouTube and you type that in, that'll send you in there on TikTok. That'll send you to the YouTube page. So I have two YouTube pages. I have the Cruise Talks, which is usually, the political talk one. This is my main one, which is the YouTube channel where I do I do all my workshops and I put videos for veterans and stuff like that. So that's why you can view it there, and that way I can show you what I'm actually doing, which is one of the main things that I have a problem with here on TikTok, because TikTok, sometimes when I try to share my screen, it like glitches out, and it's always doing some like glitchy or some weird shit that doesn't allow me to do it. So you got to do that. Oh, but one thing also, that when you're talking about the DEA benefits, the Dependents Education Assistance benefits, that is a monthly stipend that gets sent to your dependent. That has nothing to do with your benefit. That doesn't give you any pay. You don't get to pay for that. The dependent does. The difference with that one is that one depends on the level of enrollment. So if your child is enrolled for full time, you get the full benefit, which comes around to like close to $1,600 per month that they're in school. If they're part-time, it drops down to like $900. And then if it's below part-time or below half-time, they basically take it as dependent on who are you. Oh, here is better. Trust me, it's always better on YouTube. That's why I tell people to go onto YouTube and do it. TikTok, I just use it so that it pushes out to more people. But on YouTube, it's a way better experience, and you can see the stuff, and I can show you the stuff. Picture is bigger. You see my whole room. It's in 4K, and it's better quality also. So that's what I say that. But yeah, it's easier for me to show you the stuff, because that's the thing. A lot of people don't. Those little nuances and those little things that veterans don't know about is cost saving stuff. You save money that way, because there's different programs and different benefits that a lot of veterans don't know about. If you don't know about it, you can't take advantage of it. If you don't know that your child is you're supposed to receive extra money for your child being in school after 18, that's something you just wouldn't know. Question is, I was just awarded service connected at 0 for lung cancer. What can I do? So in that case, if you were awarded that, was that because of the PACT Act? Did you file it because it was something like burn pits or something like that? Because the thing is if it's service connected, that means you can get treatment for it. So that's the thing. Whenever the whole point of the disability claims is not to get the percentage, is to be service connected. Because once you're service connected, that means you can go and get treatment for it and you're not paying for it. So literally, if you have lung cancer, you can go get seen now and you will not have a bill for anything. Meaning, if you have to go through surgery, if you have to go through chemo, if you have to go through that, the VA is going to take care of it. So what you need to do is you need to get with the VA, get appointments, get a primary doctor, and start seeing, hey, I have lung cancer. What is I need to get x-rays. I need to get MRIs. I need to get through all that. And you need to go through that process. So you need to go through the process to make sure that you get all those examinations done so they can see what's wrong with you and you can get treated for it. And you don't have to worry about the bill. That's the thing about Service Connected that most people don't understand. So this is one thing I tell, look, with a lot of things with veterans is you have to connect it. You have to connect that it was there. You have to have the proper diagnosis. Because the thing is you could have served through here, you could have served in this time period, and you could have served in one of those locations. But if there's no documentation showing that you had this problem through then, they try to be assholes about it. But at the same time, just because you got denied does not end everything. That's what a lot of people, that's what a lot of veterans go through the problem where they get denied and they think, oh shit, I'm done and that's it. No, you can still appeal that. If you have the documentation, if you have the proper diagnosis and everything, and you have the connection to it, you can appeal that. Once you get denied for something, you get a year from that denial date to appeal it. Whether that's a supplemental claim, which is you adding more stuff. There's the higher level claim, which is basically you are asking for somebody at a higher level to just review it because you think there was a mistake done at prior. Or then there's the court appeal, which you would be basically going to court to defend and say the Board of Appeals to look at it that way. So those are the three different ways that you can do it, and you get a whole year to do that. So just because you get denied doesn't mean that you got to stop there and it's not going through. Because you got to look, the easiest way to explain it to people is, appreciate that, bub. It was just like, you got to understand it this way. The same way you saw that video I made of that one dude that just approved 85,000 fucking disability claims. They were at the end and he just said 85,000, you good to go. Didn't even bother to check them. It's the same thing that happens, and it can happen the opposite way. The same way you can have somebody saying, yes, we're approving all of them, you can have a person saying, nope, I'm denying all this shit. That shit can go both ways. What you need to do is that you have to make sure you have your documentation down to the T. You have to make sure your information is perfect. You have to be able to take your, basically like I tell everybody, when it comes to filing disability claims, you have to be able to grab your paperwork, give it to somebody that doesn't know who you are, and they should be able to tell you that you have kidney cancer, or you have lung cancer, or you have back injury, or you got a dislocated disc or something like that. You have to be able to take your documentation and send it to somebody else that has no idea who you are, never seen you before, never served with you, don't know what you did in the military, and they have to be able to say, you know what, damn, this dude fucked up. Doctor said I had it for a while, but that's the thing. Was that in your documentation? Because that's where a lot of people fail at that. You have to, is that described in your diagnosis? So in the diagnosis that you had for any of these ailments, was it stated service member has had this for the past 15 years or the past 10 years or whatever the case may be? You have to put it there so that way the doctor is basically writing a statement like, hey man, this was caused. That's why they call it a nexus letter. And I have that. Give me a second. I'll show you what I have as a nexus letter on my website, which is free. And this is a letter that a lot of veterans will be charged like thousands of dollars to fucking create. So this is the nexus letter. I have a template. If you go to the website, Vetawarenessproject. I wish I had the fucking button to do it. I have it. I haven't made those buttons yet. I'm working on that. That's something I got to work on. But if you go to the website, it shows it here. It's the Nexus template. So this is, let me go to the example and I'll show you. This is basically on my Google Drive also, which if you have the link, all you have to do is check on the website. You click on it, it'll take you directly to the Google link and you'll be able to see it there. And that's what it is. It tells you what the introduction is. the statement of review, the medical opinion, the medical rationale, addressing contrary evidence. So basically, your doctor has the ability, let's say you got denied at the VA. If you have that nexus letter, your doctor has the ability to write and state, yo, the evidence that was found prior that they denied was incorrect because my patient has had this issue for this long. This diagnosis or this kind of cancer evolves over this kind of time period. So it couldn't have been that he didn't have this issue. He's had this issue for this amount of time, meaning if it was at stage 3, it developed over this time period, which means it would lead to him being in the military when this started. Stuff like that. That's how you have to put it. Because the thing is what a lot of veterans do is that they put the documentation, but they don't really read the documentation. They don't really see what the diagnosis is. They don't really see what that doctor put in there. A lot of doctors put that shit. When we were in the service, doctors put a lot of fucking bullshit. A lot of bullshit in the fucking thing. A lot of bullshit. You know how many veterans right now go through the problem that they can't get a service connected because the fucking shit on their medical record doesn't say what the actual injury was? I had a back strain for who knows how fucking long till my arm went numb. And then they gave me the x-ray and the fucking diagnosis to say it was just like I had a fucking dislocated disc. The whole time was a back strain. Physical therapy, all that shit, back strain. Here I am, and then I'm playing PlayStation one day and my arm just went numb. My arm literally just went dead. And I'm like, all right, this ain't cool. This is not supposed to happen. I went and I checked it out. Then they did the x-rays and everything. It was like, oh, you have a dislocated disc in your back, and that's causing that to pinch the nerve that basically caused your arm to go out. But according to the PA in the clinic, I just had a back strain. So that's where it's important for veterans to understand that whoever your doctor is can make a contrary statement to what the PA provided. Because the thing is your doctor can be like, hey man, you were misdiagnosed. Your current doctor can say you were misdiagnosed with this treatment. And that's where it says addressing contrary evidence. And then basically the statement is, I have reviewed the VA compensation and pension exam or other evidence dated on whatever day. While the examiner concluded, whatever they concluded, the evidence does not fully consider, and then they have to put the oversight. It could be part of your veteran statement. It could be an updated diagnostic imaging. So like you said, they caught it close to stage 4, meaning that it was already bad when you figured it out, meaning that this had already been happening for some time. So that's something you have to connect. And then it says, or the chronic nature of the condition. So that's something that you have to have in writing, because if you don't have that in writing, you can't explain that. You can't put that into the system basically and say, hey, I did this. And it was just like, I'm claiming this and it's because I have this problem, but then you don't have the specific paperwork saying that this is what caused it, when it happened. And that's why these nexus letters are important when it comes to connecting stuff. Because a lot of the times veterans didn't have or don't have that medical information within their medical records. So since you don't have it within the medical records, the nexus letter is basically, that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to connect you to those different things. Once you get connected to that, then it works and you get it and it works better that way. Because that's the thing. See, and this is the AR-670-1 that supposedly nobody knows of. This is the AR-670-1 that veterans need to know. The Code of Federal Regulations, Title 38, Chapter 1, Part 4. Schedule for ratings disabilities. Once veterans learn that and they understand that, then it's easier for them to know that. Then it's easier for them to justify what they're dealing with. But most of the time, people don't justify that and people don't put that into the statement. and they don't understand what it is that they're claiming. Because the thing is sometimes not everything is claimable through the Code of Federal Regulations or through the VA. Not everything is a compensable issue. And that's what a lot of veterans don't understand. Not everything is compensable. Not everything is going to get you a payment. But if it's service connected, that means that you can have it taken care of and the VA will take care of it. And that's where a lot of people fail and they get a problem. The VA is going to help you take care of it. You won't have to pay for it, but it has to be service connected. And that's where a lot of people fail. And it's just like, and a lot of people, they just give up. A lot of people, a lot of vets, and as I said on Veterans Day, a lot of veterans take that L and keep it moving. A ton of veterans will be like, you know what? I ain't gonna win this shit. I'm done. It was like, I ain't fucking with these people no more. I'm gone. And I just go in and they go about their day. It was like, look, I took this L, I lost, and it was just like, you know what? I wasn't gonna win this. I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna just leave it as is. They said no, take it as a no. And that's the thing. Most people just get disheartened, or they'll be like, oh, I claimed for this and it got denied, and they never tried for it again. The problem is that you're supposed to keep on doing it until you know. Because the thing is if you know it happened because of the military and you have the evidence and it just doesn't get added out right, that's when you got to appeal it. Because sometimes it's just whoever viewed it could have been lazy. Plain and simple. Whoever viewed it could have been lazy. Straight up lazy. And just decided, you know what? I don't want to do this shit. Who the fuck calling me? I ain't picking up. And that's the thing that people don't realize. A lot of the times it's just it could be laziness on their part, and that laziness is what got you to where you got. That's most of the time that's what it really is. A lot of people will be lazy on their part, and then the doctor might be lazy, or the CMP examiner may be lazy. Those people ain't being held accountable. The person that ends up paying for the issue is the service member. Thank you, Lizette. And it's just like, that's the thing that people don't talk about and people don't pay attention to. I was like, that's the part where a lot of people need to realize is just like, you lose out on that stuff because of that. A lot of people lose out on benefits is because they just give up. And then some just think that it's supposed to be handed to them. Oh, just like that, and that's the biggest issue that we have with veterans right now. It's just like everybody doesn't know what's going on, and everybody doesn't pay attention to it. Not everything is just going to be handed. Like a lot of stuff, you have to go through the paperwork and identify it, see what's going on with the paperwork, see if it's correct, see if it connects, see if it doesn't connect. If it does connect, you're on your way, but you still need that doctor to be that verifying factor. You still need that doctor to say, oh, okay, his back is fucked up, but this is why his back is fucked up. And it was like, oh, his back is fucked up because of this, or he has this, and it's just like whatever the case may be. Just like, and that's one of the problems that a lot of people have is just that they don't have that. They don't have that connection. If you don't have that connection, the VA looks at it as like, bro, you could have done this shit after the military. You got a bad back. How do I know you didn't go snowboarding after you got out? How do I know you ain't go snowboarding and that's how you fucked up your back? They don't know that. It's on you to prove it to them. They don't know that your back is fucked up because you went snowboarding. Maybe it was because you went snowboarding. But they want to know how you got your back fucked up, when you got your back fucked up. Did it happen while it was in the military? Was it something that was caused while in the military? Because that's where a lot of those personal statements go a long way. That a lot of veterans don't understand that you can use a personal statement. You can use a personal statement, and that statement will assist you with your issue. That personal statement will give you that information and state like, hey, what it was going to. I did, like, it's funny because I did one consultation, the only consultation that I did, a free consultation. Because if the person served with me, I've helped them. I help them with no issue. I was going to do it like as a charge service, and numbers like this, free information. I'm not charging them that. So I did one consultation with one person, Annette, which is one of the members that I have on YouTube. And I appreciate her being a member for so long. So basically, the members is like a subscription, but on YouTube. The same way subscriptions are here on TikTok, a member is the same thing on YouTube. So I hope she don't mind me saying the stuff, but it was just like her information. It was just like she had a job, a different job when she served. She was serving in the Vietnam era. So what I basically tried to explain to her, that in her statement, she had to write and explain that, hey, you have to explain to these people what it was you went through, what it was you happened. The job that you had in the Vietnam era is not considered the same job that is considered now. Those are two different things. Because the thing is the same thing. Like if you're a fueler back then didn't have the technology and the fucking gear to make sure that you had, when you were pumping all that fuel or filling an aircraft, it was not the same technology, that there was no spills, better gloves, better material to stop you from getting that shit on you, or you just smelling like fuel the whole fucking time. Those are fumes you're inhaling. The technology has gotten better. But if you say, hey, I was a fueler, they're going to think fueler now. It's just like, oh, well, you had gloves. You don't even touch the gas. You don't have any chances to spill. All those things lead up to like, oh shit, okay. This person is a fueler, and they're going to think of it as, oh, he's a fueler now. He was a fueler in this time period, not a fueler back in those days. So you got to look at it in that way. It was just like the things you do, you have to explain to them, because it's a way of telling people, just like, look at it like this. I don't know who the fuck you are. Y'all don't know who the fuck I am. Y'all don't know how I got my injuries. Y'all don't know how I got my PTSD. Y'all don't know what the event was. Y'all don't know how it bothers, how it triggers and stuff like that. That's something you have to put into your statement. These people don't know who you are. They go and see multiple veterans. If you're looking at multiple veterans and you see multiple veterans, you're not going to remember what Lizette said, or what Joshua said, or what Flip said, or what JC said. It was just like, I just mentioned a bunch of different veterans and I have no idea which one is which right now. I'm not going to be able to remember that one person told me this. Yeah, it's in your file, but your file is 1,000 pages long. Bro, I ain't got time to be reading 1,000 pages. I'm going to control F the shit out that shit. Control F, find back issues or vertebrae issues. Because that's the thing. That's why I say with a lot of people, you have to go through your medical records. I was just like, I don't know if my damn Twitch one is acting up or not. I never know. Shit is always on some shit. I was just like, and that's the thing. I was just like, you gotta look at it, because the thing is in your medical records is gonna say something, but you have to look at that. You have to pay attention to it. You have to see what it says, because it might not be the same specific thing that it's saying for you. Because the thing is you know that it was on this day that you went and you got messed up and you got seen, and this is when you fell and your back hurt and all that stuff. And it's just like, I don't know what it is with Twitch. It was just like, Twitch doesn't let me it doesn't show the fucking stream. Like, and I don't know why that is. And I don't want to cut the stream, because then it might cut off. Let me see. No, I'll cut that one off. But that's the thing. I was just like, a lot of people don't know what the hell they doing. A lot of people don't go through it and view the shit that they need to view. So it makes it difficult for them to see these things, and it makes it difficult for them to put them together. If you can't put the stuff together, it makes it difficult for you to be successful. You can't be successful if you're not doing this shit the right way. You just can't. You have to let them know what is going on with you. You have to let them know who you are. Like I said, the biggest thing is figure out all the information, because either if you went through an injury that happened while you were in service, that means you probably had somebody else there. Somebody else was there. Somebody else was around you. Somebody else was there when you got injured, or whatever the case may be. Somebody else saw that. Somebody else witnessed that. That's a buddy statement. Has Trump showed his support for you today? When has Trump ever showed support to the troops? Answer that one. Shit. But that's the thing. Most veterans don't pay attention to that, and that's the highlighting factor where a lot of veterans mess up. You have to have the ability to be able to have somebody see your information and say, okay, I understand that you got injured on this day. This is where you have your back messed up. This is where you fell off this LMTV or you were in a vehicle rollover. This person was also in the vehicle rollover. He was there when it happened. Or we got hit by IED. This is what happened. I don't remember most of this because of the blast, but this person that was here with me was there and witnessed it and went through that procedure and went through the process. We were in the hospital together and we don't have good memory of what happened. Stuff like that, because most of the time there's a record of it happening. But if you're explaining it and you have that written and you have it as a statement for somebody else, it allows people to understand that. It allows people to give a visual of like, oh, okay, this person was doing this and they went through this problem. They had this issue. This is when it happened. This is how it happened. This is the location of where it happened. These were the injuries that were obtained because of this happening. When all that stuff is put together, then from there it's just like, oh, okay, I understand now. I see the issue. Now it's just once they see the issue, now they're looking through the documentation to provide the substantiating evidence of that issue. So if you were in that car rollover and you have that back issue, you have to be able to show that, hey, this is where it happened. It happened on this vehicle rollover. I went to the doctor and I had an x-ray. This is the x-ray. The x-ray shows that I had a dislocated back, or I've had a dislocated back after the fact and it's worsened. I am claiming it now because I had this vehicle rollover and I had back issues ever since then. But you have to have something that contributes to that there. If you can't specify or give evidence of showing you having that rollover or whatever the case may be, you have to struggle to do that. And that's where a lot of veterans struggle, where it's getting that information to provide and show like, yes, you are dealing with this. Yes, you went through that. Yes, this happened, that happened, and stuff like that. When you do it that way, it's different. Say, hey, bro, as an intel guy, I had your back in the state. Hey, Kyle, it don't matter, man. You a veteran, you served, I appreciate you. It don't matter what you did. That's the thing that people don't realize. Anybody that was in the military, if you were a part, even if you were stateside, somehow, some way, you were supporting people that were overseas. Whether it was loading up a Connex, whether it was loading up MREs into a thing, whether it was giving intelligence and stuff like that, you assisted people that were deployed or people overseas. You just assisted anyway. That's the thing that most people don't realize. As a military service member, you were assisting other service members in what you were doing. Whether it was cleaning up weapons to have them shipped, cleaning up ammunition, counting the ammunition, loading up the ammunition, all that stuff, it all plays a part into it. It's just that some people don't understand that and never thought the process that if you are in the service, everybody's helping each other. While you were deployed, whoever stayed in the rear was still taking care of shit. He said, I just flew y'all over and kicked y'all off. Hey, bro, you got us over there, right? That goes without saying. That's something that a lot of people can't do. Not a lot of people can fly you over there. Shit, and not a lot of people get to fly back. Remember that. So people are grateful for those things. It's just that some people don't look at it in that picture. Some people don't take that picture and look at it like, you know what? I did help with this shit. Some people was just like, man, I was back here and stuff like that. You were doing something because the military was still being a military. Whether you were overseas or not, you were still doing military shit. Whether it was running people's paperwork, making sure somebody's leave got back or their R&R was taken care of, whatever that case may be, you were still assistant. And that's what people need to realize. That whether a lot of people be like, oh, it was a pogue, that pogue made sure your leave was good. That pogue made sure you got that fucking combat pay. That pogue made sure you got that imminent danger pay. whether whether you like to believe that or not, when you came back and your check was nice and your leave was nice and your leave got filed and you were ready to go, as soon as you came, landed back, and you had that couple of weeks and you took your leave, somebody processed that shit. That poll that you might not have liked was the one that made sure you were able to go once you came back, able to go see family. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Everything is a part of it, but most people don't understand that. All those things matter. All those things count. All those things lead to veterans doing that stuff because it comes from veterans helping each other out. And that's the whole point of me doing these. That's why I do my workshops, is to make sure that veterans get taken care of. That's what it is. Veterans being taken care of. That's as easy as it is. Veterans taking care of veterans. If you helping out a veteran, you helping out another veteran at the same way. The same way we were a machine working while in service is a machine working outside of service. It's just taking care of each other whichever way you can do it. Not everyone helps in the same manner. Me is just making sure you know your benefits. Me is making sure you know how to file for your benefits, what your dependents have and all that stuff. It's just like, and that's what it is. That's what most people don't understand. A lot of people just take it as, oh, I did this. And I was just like, yeah, you did this, but you ain't do that alone. Anybody in the military never did anything alone. No matter what mission you went on, there was a lot of pieces that had to be put together for that mission to operate. You ain't just doing it. You ain't just show up and you weren't Rambo, bro. You ain't Rambo. You watched a bit too many movies growing up and you thought you was Rambo when you was there. Nah, that's not how the shit worked. So it's the same way. You got to just make sure you are showing people what they got to do and explain to them how they do it. Because like I said, everybody knows regulation. Everybody knows UCMJ. If you served in the military, you know what UCMJ is. Whether it was you that dealt with the UCMJ or one of your buddies that dealt with the UCMJ. If you were smart enough, you learned what the process was and what it was that they were getting them for. So that was like, you know what? Y'all ain't catching me with that shit. Y'all ain't, nah, that shit ain't there. I was like, nope, not me. Not I. But you know what UCMJ is. Everybody knows. Every branch of military knows what UCMJ is. Because that's the one thing that don't change. That don't change. That shit just doesn't change. The UCMJ does not change throughout the branches. The same way the Code of Federal Regulations doesn't change within the branches. The Code of Federal Regulation has been there for who knows how fucking long. I don't even know when they started this shit. I think since the 40s, this shit has been there. Because they started it when it came to compensating veterans for their disability. If you are compensating veterans for their disability, you find that there and you notice that and it's just like, oh, okay, this is why I'm getting this percentage. This is why I'm getting denied. This is why I'm getting approved. This is why I'm only getting 20%. This is why I got 70%. And it was just like, that's what the Code of Federal Regulation is for. It's there for veterans to understand what it is they are getting a percentage for and how it is that they are getting the percentage. Because once you do it that way, you start understanding that it's just like, okay, I'm getting this because the Code of Federal Regulation tells me I'm only supposed to get 20%. It's not thinking that you're just going to go to a CMP exam, sit down and be like, all right, I'm getting 100%. Shit don't work like that. For a lot of veterans, that's what they think it is. A lot of veterans think that because they in pain and stuff like that, pain is just pain. Pain matters when it comes to these disability things, but pain isn't that. Pain is something that cannot be measured on everybody the same. And that's why they have the Code of Federal Regulations. Because the thing is pain levels are irrelevant. I like to say they're irrelevant. Because the thing is you can be in massive pain. But the thing is you can have a higher pain tolerance. So your pain and your movement that comes, even though you're in full pain, you can probably still be able to do more than a person that has low pain tolerance and not the same injury. So you have to pay attention to that when it comes to it, because that changes a lot of the situation. And that's why I say people gotta, like, I'll show you right here, the Code of Federal Regulations. It explains it, and you go through all the symptoms. There's over 3,000 different ailments that you can be taken care of. Over 3,000. Now, do you fall under all 3,000? Fuck no. I would hope not, because I don't know how you'd be walking if you had all 3,000. But if you go onto the table of contents and scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll give you an alphabetical index of all the disabilities, and it gives you a numerical index of all the disabilities. If you go alphabetical, it'll go down a whole list of every single thing, and it'll give you the diagnostic code. That way you know, okay, you know to file for this, you know to claim for that, and you have that information there. And those are the things that a lot of people don't have and they don't pay attention to. Man, TikTok don't like when I'm educating. TikTok said we ain't sending nobody in here. I'm gonna end it on TikTok, and I'm gonna restart it again just to see if it pushes out more people. But if you're on YouTube or on Twitch, it's the same thing. Same thing. Follow this little thing here. Just put this. This is my name for everything. The Instagram I don't really do. Website is the same. YouTube is the same. TikTok is the same. TikTok, I got rid of that one, so I got to change the thing. But same thing on Twitch also. But yeah, I'm going to end it here on TikTok, and then I'm going to restart it. Because it's 12 now, so we'll see how that goes. And see how that works, restarting it. But yeah, if anybody got questions or anything of the sort, just go ahead and ask. That's the whole purpose of these things. It is Veterans Day, so we are just kicking it off that way. What I did want to do was I did want to show people ID me. That's what I did want to show people. So I wanted to show people the discounts that they can get as veterans, but this doesn't only count. See, now this is one thing that a lot of people don't know about ID me. A lot of people don't understand that ID.me works for more than just military. So these are discounts that are put across for different services. So you could be a military service member, you can be a first responder, you can be a nurse, you can be a teacher, you can be a student, you can be in the medical field, you can be a government worker. All these different things are different discounts or cashback offerings that they give. So basically, in the way of ID me, you can do it as, what's up, Emma? Oh, just like, so let's say you go on the list, you go to ID.me, you could type that into Google, it'll be the first link. Once you're on that, you can see that, and you will see that it gives you have to sign up for it. Once you're gone through that, it'll show you the different things. So basically, if you go through ID me, it allows you, if you are a military service member, if you are a nurse, if you are a first responder, if you are a teacher, if you are a student, if you work in medical and you work in government, it will basically filter out discounts that you can receive. So basically, as long as you are in one of those fields, you can get discounts that are approved through ID me. So depending me, I fall under the military. I don't have the student one anymore because I graduated. But if you're a teacher, responder, nurse, anything that works in like that, they give you different things. So what ID me used to do before was it would give you the ability to get a discount on all these shops. So you would get a discount on every single shop, especially today's for veterans, because y'all want to take advantage of them shits. Like I said, if you're a veteran, go get the free food, give it to the homeless. Don't make it obvious, because a lot of places stop that shit. And I had one of the comments actually say that too, that they stop people from doing it. But basically you'll go through there, you scroll, and it'll give you the different benefits, different discounts. So before it was always all discounts that you receive. Thank you, Emma. Before it was all discounts that they had on the website, but now what they changed it to is some of them offer you cash back through ID Me. So once you are enrolled into it, it will basically have like a cash back option within the site. So literally you'll get cash back, which basically you can use it towards any one of the things, but it'll be a cash back offering that you get through, because that's where you're shopping through. So basically you have Oakley. Like I said, for Oakley, U.S. military gets 50% off duty sunglasses. Yes. Thank you, Southwest. So Emma, is just this ID. Well, not DD. ID. Why the fuck can I type today? Why is it typing too? So ID.me. I can't type. That's why I like to talk. I can't type for shit for some reason. It was the simplest fucking 5 characters and I couldn't even type it in. So basically, you type that in, it'll tell you in, because the thing is, it basically has to verify that you're whatever you're saying you are. So if it's a student, stuff like that, it might ask you to like upload an ID or fill out some information, and then they verify it. If you're a service member, if you're active duty or a veteran, most of the time it'll connect you. If you have your DOD stuff through there, you can connect it through that. ID Me allows that. And then from there, you can just check what it is. So basically you can use all this information and you get discounted stuff. So it's either the company offers you discounts, which vary from 10% to 50%, or you get the ability to use it as cash back. So like if you're needing a hotel, 8% off for military. Or some of it's and some of it is or. So if you're needing a hotel and if you're military, you get 8% off for booking a hotel. What's up, Rosanna? And then you get 2% cash back on whatever it is you spent. So you have that ability to do it that way. You also have StubHub. So basically, if you got going to a game or something like that, concert or anything like that, you get 5% cash back if military. They don't give you a discount on the tickets, but they'll give you cash back on that. Morning, political. Carhartt. If you like wearing Carhartt, 50% off for military. Verizon gives you discounts. Hoka for running gives you discounts. If you want a Stanley, that's a 20% off discount from them. The Great Wolf Lodge, up to 40% off. If you like buying a whole shitload of Crocs, which I know a lot of people do, 15% off for military. If you get Yeti is 20% off. Michaels gives 5%. Academy today gives 10% off, Southwest, or maybe, but the thing is also sometimes you got to pay attention to the discount in your location. So sometimes depending on the location of where you are, that's where they have it different. So some places give more sometimes because they know I'm next to a military community. Well, not right next to it, but I'm close to a military community. So a lot of people come here. So that's why they give a little extra sometimes, and they do that. If you buy Saucony's or Brooks, Saucony's has a 20% off for military, and Brooks has a 25% off for military. If you're buying any LG products, any LG electronics, you get 3% cash back on there. Let's see what else. I'm gonna just keep going down the list, and we'll do this. Well, if y'all on my YouTube, you'll be able to see it because I'm showing it there, because TikTok is not pushing my live out to anybody today. So I'm not saying anything controversial. Even though I got a lot to say, I'm gonna leave that for another time, because it is Veterans Day. So you can get World Disney, you get 40% off of new markdowns on a Nike. You get 40% off full price items on Adidas. You get the what is it, that Factor and all that stuff. Yeah, you know they're not gonna push it today because I'm not saying any controversial shit today. I haven't said, somebody came in and said something and I said it, but I'm trying to stay as least controversial. Thank you, political. And it was just like I'm trying to stay, cool, calm, and collected today. Cool, calm, and collected today. Today's Veterans Day. Might as well push it out the veterans, even though I can't stand half of them, but it was just like it's okay. Universal Orlando Resort, you can get $74 off or $2 cash back Orbits if you're needing a hotel. Same thing. Same thing. We're always pushing out the controversial ones, but nothing. Yeah. Anything that's formal or assisting. Like I was just helping people just like that's what I do with my workshops on Sundays, but this is the amount of people I usually get. I don't really get many people. So that's why I tell people to follow me on YouTube. Because if you watch me through YouTube, it's a wider screen and it's in 4K. So it's in better resolution. On TikTok, I can't share the screen. Appreciate it, Dave. I can't share the screen on TikTok because every time I share the screen on TikTok, it fucking freezes. That's the part I dislike about TikTok. That is just like most of the time when I try to share my screen on here, it'll freeze and it'll give me some issue. Even though I'm using their fucking program to do it. So that's why I do it that way. And I just basically, I'm on YouTube. I'm literally on YouTube and on Twitch right now at the same time. So I'm streaming to 3 different platforms at the same time. But yeah, that's why I can show people because right now on YouTube, I'm actually on the ID Me link, like webpage, and I'm showing people what the discounts are and what they are through there. So you can view it that way and you can get, if you're on YouTube, like I said, all you gotta, what's up, Gina? Happy Veterans Day. Oh yeah, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans in there too. Same to you, Gina. But yeah, that's why I like doing my workshops on YouTube because it's easier for viewing purposes. So if you go onto the YouTube page, as you can see on there, it's the little this right here at Vetawarenessproject is basically the at sitting in the ER. That's not good. I was in the ER yesterday. Hopefully you are doing okay, Gina. Hopefully there's nothing wrong. Hopefully is everything okay. But if you check it out through here at Vetawarenessproject, you could type that into YouTube and it'll take you to my page where I'm live right now, and then you can see the full picture of it. And I'm showing and I'm going through and scrolling through all the different things. There's like 7 different pages of benefits that you can get from it if you wanted to plus version. That's never good. Just got a huge smile from my dad. It's always a good thing. Veterans. I just came because I was gonna do this earlier, but my daughter was in the Veterans Day parade of my town, basically. So basically, that's why I didn't start the live earlier because I was out there supporting my daughter and her and walking through the Veterans Day parade. So it was just like a Veterans Day parade. They have a bunch of the kids, school kids, and all that stuff. They go and they parade. I was gonna go live for it, but I was just like, nah, I'm not doing all that. So that was something. That was something I was just doing basically. So I went and I didn't start the live right away, but I was just doing it that way because I'm just like, okay, we're gonna do it this way. We're just gonna go enjoy and see my daughter on there do the parade and do it that way. What up, Sagi? But yeah, these are the discounts. So if you're going through and you watching me on YouTube, you'll be able to see everything I'm showing you. On TikTok, this is just like a easier way to me talking. Go on YouTube, type this in at Vetawarenessproject, and it'll take you to the link and you'll be able to see full screen and in 4K. So when I switch over to the regular thing and I'm not sharing it, you see my whole room and you see me in the same 4K, but in a bigger screen, basically. It's my free food day. I usually don't get the free food anymore. I stopped doing it. I just say if I get free food, I take it. I give it to whatever homeless person I see it. If I encounter a homeless person before I get to eat it, I just give it to the homeless person. I was just like, because most of the shit is always like a little entree or something. I was just like, I just give it to a homeless person if that. The one thing I do get is I need to go get his coffee because the little shop does give free veterans coffee. That I will keep. That I will keep. We should make a Discord. I have a Discord, Sagi. I just don't use it. I need to beef it up some. Appreciate that. What camera do I film off of? A Sony ZV-E10. This ain't no webcam. Just so that people know. This is not a webcam. Because I know people be coming in here and be like, damn, why is this motherfucker so crisp? Like, I can see everything. Just like, this is not a webcam. This is an actual mirrorless camera. This is not a webcam. You ain't getting quality like this off of a regular camera. Maybe off your phone, but you have to be using the back, and then most people don't have anything to see the actual chat, so they don't do it that way. But yeah, as we continue, just gonna keep going over the thing. So if y'all haven't, go over to the YouTube stream, subscribe to the channel, like the video, like the thing. Same thing here. TikTok ain't gonna push too much shit because I'm not being controversial enough. So, but yeah. If you purchase, like, look, it says for Disneyland Park, military members save up to $65 on multi-day tickets, which isn't a lot because them shit's fucking expensive. But you get 2% cash back. If you buy Bose, like, headsets or Bose speakers, 10% off for military. Let's see, because if you get Ray-Bans, if you like Ray-Ban shades, 15% off for military, and you can get up to 6% cash back also. It is fucking cold outside. I love the little photo you got on the link tree. If it's cold outside, which I know a lot of y'all, it's getting fucking cold. Columbia, 20% off for military if you are using it to buy a coat or something. It's getting cold. This is the time to buy it. If you go to Lowe's, you get 10% off. I know everybody likes to DIY they shit. If you got a military service member or a veteran, do that also. The same thing with Home Depot. Home Depot also offers a 10% off. With most of them, you just got to fucking sign up for their stuff and prove that you are military. Most of the time, that's just a simple like DOD ID or something like that. How long do these? So the question is by all okay, political. How long do these discounts last? If you are going through ID Me, these are not only Veterans Day. If you are going through ID.me, they are not only Veterans Day. These are discounts that you can get. And if you're, like I said earlier, I'm gonna show y'all. These are all the different ones that you get. So if you are a military, a nurse, a first responder, a teacher, a student, or medical personnel, or government personnel, you get these benefits. Oh, when we were in service, we would do that. We would do that shit. Everybody, yo, whose car we taking? Just ride all around and get all that shit. We were still in service. We didn't give a fuck. We were like, fuck that. We getting these shits. So, but yeah, so these discounts are not. So basically, if you fall under any of those criteria, nurse, medical officer, government worker, anything like that, these benefits stay. Some of these get extra ones like on today because it's Veterans Day, but most of these, if you go, you get this discount for it regardless. So if you like Sony products, like my camera was Sony, I use ID Me to purchase my Sony camera. I got 10% off from it. Now you got to remember, not everything gets the same discount, but the thing is you can use it. If you like Sony, you like buying Sony, you get a 10% discount from it. Contacts Direct. Do you have a bunch of contact lenses? You can get 15% off any order and free shipping for military if you wear contact lenses. Now let's go to the next page. This is just going down the line. This is all different stuff. You can join Sam's Club. You can use Caraway. I'm not sure what that is. I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what it is. GlassesUSA.com, $20 off or $150 for US and Canadian military. So basically, if you need new glasses, you need to get new glasses, you could do it that way. NFL football tickets, if you want to go watch a game, they give you discounts and you got to click on it because sometimes it'll give you different stuff. So see, it'll show you the different ones. So all the offers it has. So it won't give you a discount on the actual tickets, but it gives you 2% cash back. And that 2% cash back, you can accumulate that money and just use it for anything you want to do. So basically, like, look, if you're a student, because me, I had it as a student, I got to take that one off because I'm no longer a student. But for military and veterans, it gets you that. So that gives you that ability. TurboTax. If you need to file your taxes and you are a student, TurboTax is 20% off for students. Why is it? No, I wanted to show just the military. Apply. There we go. I got to go back. Damn. Got to restart it. We're going to have our dates that end somewhere. Yeah, if you do that, because the thing is Home Depot and Lowe's have a 10% discount. So yeah, I did that. Lowe's, Sony, Contacts Direct. Then you keep going. Sam's Club. T-Mobile benefits page. T-Mobile, depending on which you have, it may have a whatchamacallit. Depending on like the service you have. So it's like the plan you have, it'll do that. Let's see. Football tickets, TurboTax, Callaway, 15% off. Liberty Mutual, save more than $700, which that is just them pushing it. It doesn't, I don't think it actually gives you a discount. These are all AAA, New York hotels. Let's see what else. Sunglasses Hut, 15% off. Mattress Firm, you need a new mattress, get an extra 10 to 20% off for your mattress. NFL Shop, if you want to buy some NFL gear, that's another 15% off for military. The Farmer's Dog, Tacovas, Oakley. This one for Oakley, they have a special Oakley shop that'll give you, right now, I believe for Veterans Day, is like 45% off for prescribed ones. Because usually if you put in your own prescription, it costs a bit more. They're giving, I believe, is a 45% discount on there. Sonos, that's basically sound. MLB Shop, if you want to buy a hat, which I need to use that to get a couple more fitteds. Puma, 20% off for Puma. NBA tickets, same thing, but you only get cash back. You don't actually get a discount on the prices. K Jewelers, you get 10% off if you need to buy something for this Christmas if you want to. I don't know. Nectar, Cirque du Soleil, if you want to go watch some people spin around and shit. There you go. Lens Crafters, Home Chef, Resorts Quest, NHL, if you were NHL. Save up to 65% off of HP. So if you need that new printer, 65% off. iRobot, you want another cleaning vacuum or one of those like mop vacuum things and you want to do it and you're not getting it off the TikTok shop, you're not getting it off the TikTok shop, which I haven't seen any of them shit be bad. So if you're not getting it from the TikTok shop, that's cool. You get 15% off from iRobot. Corsair. I'm a big Corsair fan. I need these people to sponsor me because you see this chair? Corsair. The chair is Corsair. Corsair, where you at? I know y'all watching me somewhere. Somebody's watching me. Y'all need to sponsor me. I need a sponsorship, y'all. Get me a sponsorship, y'all. That's what y'all need to do. Get me a sponsorship. Y'all want to support me? Find me a fucking sponsorship. Find me a fucking sponsorship. Get somebody to sponsor me. That's all I need. Just a sponsor. They don't gotta be nothing crazy. They could just send me free shit, and I'm cool with that. I just gotta review it and stuff like that. I'm cool with that. Pandora 10% off, Corsair. Because like I said, most of the shit I have in my house is Corsair. Most of the stuff I bought in is either Corsair or Elgato. And that's it. And that's for military stuff. Now, the same thing, if you are nurse, first responder, teacher, student, medical, or government. So if you work for the federal government, you work for the state government, you can use this, and it's basically discounts or cashback that are for you. This is stuff for you to use. This is stuff that is free, and it's not only a Veterans Day thing. This is something that you can use all the time, and you benefit from it. See, now y'all see me in full screen. Now y'all see the full screen, the full background. You even see a bit of the stuff cut out there. I was just like, that's what it is. So you see it that way, and that's how it's easier for me to show y'all what's going on, and y'all can see what's going on. And I have the ability to have both TikTok chat and YouTube and Twitch chat on one thing, so I can see it this way. He said, talk about how MAGA hates veterans and boost that TikTok algorithm. They still won't do it. That shit don't work all the time. It was like sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. With these people, it's just like they need a push. If I say MAGA enough, they'll start coming in. But it's just like most of them are veterans, and they're gonna pay attention to what I'm saying, so they're not gonna like the stream, or they're not gonna do anything good with it. But it's whatever. It's Veterans Day. Look, this is the same attention that Republicans. Well, I'll say this is the same attention that Republicans and MAGA give veterans. We care about you today. We won't remember you tomorrow. I'm sorry. It's the fucking truth. It's the fucking truth. We like y'all today because we're going to remember you today. We're going to use Veterans Day as an excuse to say we're prideful. We care about the veterans. We want to do everything for the veterans. And then after Veterans Day ends, it's like, bro, get to work. You ain't hurt. Why are you asking for money type shit? Like, bro, what? So it's that's how it is. That's how it is. It's not surprising. It doesn't change. It's the same thing as always. It's the same outcome. Can't really control that. Can't control. Yeah, feed them. Yep, feed them today. Shoo them away tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. Because it's like if that were the case, it shouldn't be that it's only today. Because that's the one thing I do have a problem with. If all these corporations and stuff like that, because these like the IDme.com thing, those are discounts that are there all the time. Those are discounts that are there all the time. That doesn't just mean it's just like one day or anything like that. Yeah, I did see that. I did see Obama go and greet the veterans in the Washington, D.C. airport. I did see that video. That I did see. Still the best fucking president I ever served. Best president I served under. Didn't always agree with him, but when it came to the troops, that man always had respect for the fucking troops. That man always did and went above and beyond to show that he cared and was thoughtful of service members in the fucking military. That's the one thing I will give fucking Obama. Obama has shown time and time and time that him as president, or even after being president, he always dedicated the time to thank service members for what they did. That's the thing. That's the thing. Joshua with Charlie Kirk is a whole different situation, but I don't care about that dude right now. He not a veteran. He didn't serve. Yeah, that Southwest, a lot of military service. Excuse me. A lot of military service members respected Obama more because of that. A lot of service members respected Obama more because of that instance. When he held that salute for 45 fucking minutes while all those service members were being brought off the plane. There was a lot of MAGA Republicans and a lot of people that didn't like him. But the fact that he stood there for 45 minutes holding a fucking salute while service members were being brought out of the plane, that man got a lot And I mean a lot of respect from a lot of service members after that. Because you haven't seen another president do the same. You haven't seen another president. You haven't seen shit. Donald Trump been president twice. You didn't see him do that. He's had the ability to. Never seen him do it twice. And he did that. So the same opportunities are there for them to happen. It's just, that's all it is. Same opportunity, same views, same thing. Still the president, still in charge of the armed forces. But look at the difference in how they treat the armed forces and look at what they do for them. It's a major difference. It's a major difference, especially on Veterans Day. Because the one thing that a lot of people like to throw out there is the tomb of the unknown soldier. When the presidents go and did it, and they'll be like, "Oh, the president did it." I was just like, every single president does that. That is part of what every president does. Every president goes to the tomb of the unknown soldier and is always there with that wreath. That is every president. That is not something that is special to any president. Oh, look, I was waiting for somebody to show up. It was just like every single president comes in and does that. Every president goes to the tomb of the unknown soldier, and every president goes and places that wreath there. That is not anything special. That is something that is done by every single president. So it's no talking point for George Bush. It's no talking point for Barack Obama. It's no talking point for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Every single president goes to the tomb of the unknown soldier and places that wreath there. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That has been the truth throughout. Every single president goes to the tomb of the unknown soldier. You're not special. No president is special. Now, if you don't do it, that's a different story. But every single president has gone through that and seen that. Every president has gone and done that. It hasn't been a change. That's something that presidents do. That is something that a president will always do. No matter who the next president is, you will see them at the tomb of the unknown soldier and they will be placing that wreath there. The significance of the tomb is basically giving remembrance to those veterans that sacrificed and gave up all they did and not knowing who they were. Because you got to remember, for a lot of service members, some of them didn't come back. A lot of them didn't come back. A lot of them still don't have remains. A lot of them were put to rest without knowing who they were. So they found parts, basically, you could say. And some of these people were laid to rest, but they weren't identified of who they were. So it's basically watching the tomb to understand that this is like the ultimate sacrifice for them, and not all of them are seen. Not everybody knows who they are. So it's kind of a way of remembering that. I almost had the chance of serving in that unit because of my MOS. And literally that's all you do. You have to be some of the most disciplined people to be in that unit, because literally all you are doing is walking back and forth, watching that tomb. Back and forth. Rain, sleet, or snow. Happy Veterans Day, Lord. I was just like, would I do it? When I was in the service and they sent me the thing to apply for it, I thought about it, but it wasn't something that I was in, like, it wasn't something I wanted to do in my career at that point. It was something that I thought it was just like, this would be cool, but what? Explain yourself. And then it was just like, that's what it is. So it's different for everybody to do it. It was like, would I have done it? That would have been that's a very honorable privilege to serve on the unit of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That is a very honored and privileged fucking. Not many get to do that. That is not something that everybody gets to do. Thank you, Sagi. That is not a position that many get to do. You have to be disciplined to do that. Because literally you are walking back and forth, rain, sleet, hail, wind, whatever, back and forth, and you're doing that march consistently without stop until you are relieved. And that is your place of duty. That's what you do the whole day, marching back and forth, doing that and watching the tomb. But that's not something that everybody wants to do, not something that everybody understands. Fuck. Yeah. But, you know, it is a great thing. Not everybody gets to do it, but it is a great opportunity. It is a very distinguished thing. But yeah, that's the thing with that. I was like, you got to pay attention to it. There's different things, different highlights to it. Do you get lunch breaks? You doing that till you get relieved. So depending on how long the shift is, if you doing that back and forth, that's all you're doing till you get relieved from duty. And then when you're getting relieved, you go through an inspection. So the person that comes in inspects you and inspects your weapon, making sure that your weapon is it's correct, nothing's wrong with it, does an inspection, they do that, they relieve you, you then step off, and then they assume the duty. So literally you're doing that, you ain't peeing, you ain't doing that, you ain't taking breaks. This is what you are doing that whole time period till you get relieved. Till that other person comes and says, all right, bro, you can go. That's it. So you gonna hold your piss however long you gonna do. You gonna hold, you gotta take a shit, you shit out of luck. Yeah, that's why I say you got to be disciplined of discipline, because it's like you are doing this till the person comes, inspects you, checks the weapon, they do the weapon flip, they check it, make sure the weapon is good, flip it, assume it, about face, they do an about face, they march off, you step into the position, about face, and then you continue your march. It's a lot of stuff that most people don't realize, that it's just like the amount of discipline you have to serve in those positions and certain things. It was just like, yeah, the energy you have over there is different, because those are members of the military that uphold. It's like you uphold the honor and the standard to a whole nother fucking level, because you are disciplined to the T. I don't know how long. Let me see if I can look it up. Oh, it's not that bad. So it's only 30 minutes. 30 minutes from April 1st to September 30th, or an hour during the winter, October 1st through March 31st. So 30 minutes to an hour. When the cemetery is closed, it's every 2 hours. But you are doing that for an hour straight. Rain, sleet, or snow. Negative 20 degrees, 115 degrees. You say that's not bad at all. Let you go outside and start walking back and forth in the same spot for fucking an hour when it's negative 20. That's what makes it bad. That's what makes it bad. When you out, it's the same thing with us in the military. When we go out and do military training and stuff like that, it was just like, you do that. You go out to the field and you do training. When it's nice weather, it's not bad. But when it starts snowing and you out in the field, whole different thing. When you out in the fucking desert, whole fucking thing. Appreciate that, Doro. Just, yeah, see, look. 10 on, 15 off when it's negative. So imagine when it's in the negative temperatures with a wind blowing at you crazy and you are still doing that march for 30 minutes. Then you have to do the shift, do the fucking movements and all that. Switch 30 minutes. And the thing is you got to remember, sometimes it could be that you and somebody else are doing it the whole day or for an 8-hour shift of 30 minutes each. That's what you got to remember. It's not that they're just doing 30 minutes and that's it. They are probably working a 6 to 7 hour long shift where they are switching with somebody else every 30 minutes. So if you're doing that for 6 hours, and you going back 30 minutes, you go, you cold, 30 minutes. You get to warm up again, you got to go back out to the cold, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, back warm up again, back out to the cold, 30 minutes. So that's that's where a lot of people don't understand. It was just like, I should have taken that shit. If I would have taken that fucking assignment, I definitely would probably still be in the military, I think. Let me see the 2 on no soldier. Let's see. Yeah, so each soldier, what they do is they take 21 steps, like the same way they do the 21 gun salute. You take 21 steps one way, stand at attention for 21 seconds, count to 21 seconds, about face, 21 steps this way. Stop for 21 seconds, turn, repeat. 21 seconds, turn, repeat. 21 seconds, turn, repeat. 21 seconds, turn, repeat. Now, can people rejoin the military after retirement? It depends. Yeah, you become 21 Savage after that. That's the crazy part. 21 steps, you wait 21 seconds, you turn around, 21 steps to the other side. Stop, 21. And if you look at it, you can see the path where it's most of the time that they walk in. So you can see that part of the path is usually the part that they step on, but that's what they do the whole time. And depending on the shifts are long because you're doing that, you're getting relieved, but at the same time, your shift is pretty fucking long. So that's why I'm saying it's a very prestigious position to take. Very prestigious to fucking do that. They just take 21 steps so that it's through there. Hey, Cam, appreciate you, man. Happy Veterans Day to you too. You take a military step, which is basically, I forget, a foot. You stepping. So it's 21 steps for you. But the thing is no, because the thing is it's different because the thing is you're marching those steps. So it's 21 steps in full perfect march. It's not just you walking, it's 21 steps with weapon in hand, marching 21 steps. The thing is they also, when you have the criteria, they make it so that you're around the same height. So you have to be at least 6 foot to do it. They want you to be at least 6 feet to 6'4". Because basically you have around the same step range. So basically when you take 21 steps, it's not the same as somebody that's like 5'8" taking, or 5'7" taking 21 steps. So that, because basically you stay in the same, basically, they want you to stay in the same position, basically, in the same space frame. So basically, most of the time you have to be 6 feet tall to 6'4". Got to fit into a uniform crisply. You got to be able. You have to be physically fit. You have to be able to do all that shit. And when they pick you, you have to go through the thing and you go through the training and stuff like that. And if you're able to do it, you get selected to do it. So I would have loved to do it, but yeah, tons of practice. It's beyond crazy how much they do that shit. And it says that some of the senior, because I'm looking it up, some of the seniors that have been there have done from 800 to 1,000 walks, meaning that they've been on duty 800 to 1,000 times. 21 steps, 21 seconds. About face, 21 steps, 21 seconds. About face, 21 steps, 21 seconds. Imagine doing that. Imagine doing that for half an hour in the freezing fucking cold. So that it's a lot. That's not something that you just don't get included into those units. You go through those trials and tribulations of them testing you to be able to have that mental fortitude and that discipline to continue to do this without fail. Whether rain, sleet or snow, and then the thing is you have to also be able to defend it in case somebody wants to step on there when they're not supposed to step to a certain thing. There's a certain area you're not supposed to step onto. So then they have to stop and basically they will fire on your ass if you get too close. Type shit. It's not like you're not supposed to enter that area. It's supposed to be the army does, Ruby. It's an army unit. So the army is the one that does this. So it's something, like I said, it's something that doesn't, not all the time, but it's like, hey, this is something that is very, piece of kids somehow. Third U.S. Infantry Regiment, as they call it, the Old Guard. It's just crazy to do that time and time again. Like, which branch is more competitive? It's either the Marines or the Army. Those are always the most competitive ones. Did y'all hear about that shit now that you mentioned that? Did y'all hear about this fucking university that was trying to steal the Marines cat cards? Yeah, y'all heard about that shit? Did y'all hear about that shit? Y'all haven't heard it? I think the UNC, North Carolina. Probably it has to be around North Carolina. That basically the initiation for the fraternity was basically that they had to basically beat up a Marine and take their cat card. Oh, they were doing it towards the Marine ball? You really gotta be fucking stupid. These motherfuckers was already halfway drunk. That's crazy. The thing is what most people don't know is that this isn't something new. That's not something new. That shit happened around here in Fort Riley the same way. You know how many times you get into brawls with the frats? It's just now this is the main time that they tried to do it fucking on the fucking weekend of the fucking Marine's birthday. That shit happened all the fucking time. That shit happens all the fucking time. If you have a university or a school around there, you always have the frats trying to instigate something with the service members. That's always fucking happened. The only reason this shit is probably catching a lot of attention is because it happened on fucking the Marine Corps fucking weekend. That's the only reason. Because every other weekend, I bet you Marines is always getting into fights with the fucking regular fucking frats. The same way the Army always gets into fights with the fucking frats. It's always the same thing. Because the frats always think they're tougher than the military. And the military is tougher than the frats, I'm not going to lie. But they always do that. And they always want to pick a fight, or they want to start a fight. Or the biggest thing is like, we can outdrink the military. Bro, we fish. We is fish. We don't be drinking kegs and shit. We be drinking fifths for fun. How I still got a liver? I don't fucking know. How I still got a liver? I don't know. But my liver has gone through my liver's fucking, that shit, my liver's gone through some shit. That's all I gotta say. My liver has gone through some shit. If you were in the military, your liver has experienced shit that most people have only thought of. This shit is crazy. My liver, that shit ain't alcohol training. We training the alcohol. that's what it would be. It's like we training the alcohol to fuck other people up. Because they can't fuck us up, so the alcohol is getting fucking training. The alcohol is like, yeah, I gotta hit these people like this because these motherfuckers just keep drinking. That's what it, man. It was bad. I will say there was a time period that it was bad. So, the frats and the ball players, everybody always thought it was just like they could outdrink the military. It was like, bro, these people got nothing else to do. They can't do any other kind of things. Oh my God, soju? Yo, that's evil. That is evil. Soju is evil. That shit'll have you rethinking life when you have some soju. You drink that shit tastes so good. It tastes like fucking juice, and you just pound one of them shits and you just like, you wake up the next 2 days and shit like, what the fuck how the fuck did I get here? Yo, what the fuck happened? You got people telling you, yo, bro, you remember what you did last night? Nah, bro, I do not remember what I did last night. I don't even know how I got home. Bro, how did I get here? Just like, bro, soju's on a whole different fucking level. That's, yeah. Fuck Mad Dog. I can't stand that shit. Mad Dog. Mad Dog 2020. That was that cheap shit when fucking service members is broke and shit. Mad Dog 2020. That cheap ass shit to get you fucked up, but that shit left you fucked up. Mad Dog 2020. I'm from New York City. I was a Hennessy person. I always drank Hennessy. I came into the military drinking Hennessy. I left the military drinking Hennessy. I'm sorry. That was my thing. Hennessy was the thing. And then I got introduced to Hennessy with apple juice, and it was never the same. Then I really started drinking that shit. Good times. Those are good times, man. Those are some good times. I ain't gonna lie. Those are some good times. Some good times. Red breast 20-year-old. Okay. Well, Southwest, I'm a alcohol kind. I don't discriminate. I just grew up drinking Hennessy, so that's what I would go. That was my go-to, but I don't discriminate. I drink your shit. Just put it in front of me. That's it. All you got to do is pour. That's the bad part. During those days, just pour. You know, what we drinking? Pour it. I don't give a shit. As long as it wasn't hot Cuervo. That's it. That's it. That's it. Hot Cuervo, I cannot do. If you chill it, I could do it. But hot Cuervo, that's the one thing that is just like an instant, like, nope, can't do it. If you chill it, take it down like a champ. But if it's hot, I don't know what the fuck is in that shit. I'm just like, thank you, Bonita. Damn, call me by my government too. Who's Bonita? I gotta see who Bonita is. Who's Bonita? Bonita, who is you? I need to know who you are now. Oh, I know who you are. Okay. I seen your face. She called me by my government and everything. I was like, God damn. I was like, who the hell? That shit caught me off guard too. She's like, Happy Veterans Day. I was like, hold the fuck up. I was like, hold up. When the hell? What's up? No, it was no, it was just like because it's not many people that come in here and call me by my first name. So it's just like, even though I've said my first name out before, I've said it, but it's just like when they come in and congratulate me like that, it's just like, all right, I know you from somewhere. I either went to school with you or something like that. I went to school with her. So yeah. That's why when she said that, I was just like, Happy Veterans Day. I was just like, dang. I was like, this is a personal thanking right here. This is a personal one. This is Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what made it funny to me. It was just like, that's a personal greeting right there. When they don't just hit you with when they don't just hit you with the Happy Veterans Day, they hit you with the Happy Veterans Day Fidel, like with your name on it. It's just like, oh, this is a personal thank you. This is like, thank you. I appreciate it. That was funny. That shit threw me off guard. I was like, because the first thing I do is somebody knows my first name like that. I'm just like, I got to check their profile. I'm like, who the fuck knows me like this? Calling me by my government, which I don't care, really. I just don't use it as much because then I know the MAGA would probably go crazy against me. Appreciate that, Chandra. Appreciate everybody and appreciate all the vets in here too. Appreciate y'all. Have a great Veterans Day. If you are getting free food, get the free food, eat some of it, give it to a fucking homeless person if you're not eating it. That's all. Appreciate it, J-Rock. Now that's all I gotta say for today. If you are haven't heard your take on the Dems, bro. Damn. I was trying to keep it clean. I was trying to keep this clean. I was trying to keep it on Veterans Day. I might do it later. I might give a take on it later. I might give a take on it later. I'm not entirely there yet. I have a thought process of how I want to address the Democrats, the Democrat followers, the Republican followers, and MAGA. I have a way that I want to address them. I still say fuck Republicans because you ain't doing shit for the veterans, even on Veterans Day. But that'll stand. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'll say it this way. The thought process I have currently for what this administration has done with this government shutdown. We went to 40 days with a government shutdown. These 40 days made an issue with service members and veterans because it affected a lot of veterans when it came to their GI Bill and having their school paid for. So it did affect a lot of veterans in that case where a lot of veterans were not receiving the funding that they were supposed to get on time for their school. So that's one thing I want to highlight. That government shutdown did a lot for that. They shut down the GI Bill hotline. It shut down a couple of offices. Now, I made a video on that the previous week, basically talking about the shutdown when it came to the resources that were still available and the resources that were not available due to the shutdown. That only happens during a government shutdown. That doesn't happen throughout the rest of the time. These services are open still. The fact that this administration has taken away from the women's health and they are trying to get rid of that women's health offices that they have, that's a part of the problem when it comes to an administration that really doesn't care for women and doesn't really give a fuck about veterans. When it comes to this shutdown and these Democrats going and voting with the Republicans, the main thing I want to tell people and the bigger thing I want people to acknowledge is that this was not all veterans, not all Democrats. This was not all Democrats. This is the agenda that the Republican Party would like for you to push out. This is the agenda that Republicans would like Democrats to start fighting each other over, to split it even more. What Democrats need to be doing is paying attention to those 8 Democrats that chose this. Those 8 Democrats, not the rest of the Democrats. Those 8 Democrats. What you need to be doing is check with those 8. Check with those 8. Check if they were receiving APAC money. First off, check if they were receiving APAC money. Second off, those 8 Democrats, how many of them has stated that they're no longer going to run for Congress, or they are not going to try to be renewed for Congress? Exactly, Sagi. This wasn't a thing. This was something that they knew they would be taken care of because they're not going to be up for re-election. They understand that they know they weren't going to lose their seats. So basically, it was them basically probably being reassured that, hey, bro, you ain't going nowhere. You don't get selected this midterm. You on the next one. You come up on 2028. And that's where a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are blaming all the Democratic Party. The whole entire Democratic Party didn't agree with this. Those 8 Democrats are the ones that should be getting all the phone calls. Those 8 Democrats are the ones people should be paying attention to. Those 8 Democrats are the ones that people need to make sure that they file for and vote out. It's not the whole Democratic Party, because the whole Democratic Party didn't vote. The rest of the Democrats said, no, we are still going to continue with this shutdown. You had these 8, which you have to see what they benefited from this. Because the thing is those 8 said, yes, we will vote in order to make it that the government will reopen. We will go and talk to the Republican Party, which says they will give us a vote on this. Now, the Republican Party this whole 40 days did not want to do any kind of a negotiation. So why would these 8 Democrats think that the Republicans were going to keep their word when it came to trying to acknowledge this? Because what did the Chuck Schumer and the rest of them do? They tried to make it that, hey, if you are going to basically sign off on this, we want it in writing that you are going to allow the subsidies to last for another year while we make a committee, a bipartisan committee, meaning a committee that will have Democrats and Republicans in place to actually work on fixing the subsidies or working on the United States healthcare. So basically, they're using this as a thing. The other thing that most MAGA and most Republicans, as you can see, because the thing is most MAGA, most Republicans are too ignorant to the fact that illegals never got benefits. Mike Johnson hasn't been able to give you any bit of information, any bit of documentation, any bit of evidence to show that in any bill that the Democrats were putting forth, that illegal immigrants were going to get health care. So this is the part, this is the one part that Republicans failed to acknowledge, right? This is the part. You are right. It is a great move by the Democrats. And this is how y'all, if y'all been here before, y'all know I don't think regularly. I think and see things in different ways. Right? The Republican Party, Mike Johnson, with the opening of the government, now has to swear in that Democratic elected representative. Remember that vote they needed for the Epstein files? Yeah, y'all forgot about that? Yeah, forgot about that, huh? That's December 2nd, Southwest. They can open up the government by the end of this week. Meaning, if the government is opened up, that means you have to certify that election and put her into the thing. Which means if you decide to hide from that, that means that you are trying to make sure that the Epstein files don't get released. But you got to remember, like I said, it was these 8 Democrats that did that. 8 Democrats chose to switch sides because they knew, and their talking point, because if you listen to fucking King, the senator, he was basically saying, because he's an independent-ish, supposedly. They're trying to do that. Now, the only talking point that the Democrats have had this whole time that they have been able to use for leverage has been, hey, you don't want to fix the subsidies? Fine. Now we know, and we can point out that the Republican Party did not want to extend these subsidies. The Republican Party did not want to fix the healthcare issue that the Democrats were trying to do. So the Democrats doing that, those 8 basically said, hey, we already knew these people were not going to fix it, but we can at least get people to get food now. So now SNAP benefits have to be paid because of the fact that the federal government is going to be put in place. See, but you see how quickly the MAGA that were in here just faded away when you start bringing up the Epstein files? Seeing how quick they were to just disappear? Seeing how quick that was? I'm going to end my live on YouTube because this is no longer going to be a veterans thing, but I appreciate it. If you haven't seen it, appreciate you tuning in on YouTube, following on YouTube. I'm going to keep this on TikTok though, but I'm going to end it on YouTube and on Twitch. Appreciate everybody that followed, everybody that liked, everybody that subscribed. We're going to keep talking about this.